Hi, Michelle. Would you like to introduce yourself and maybe tell us a little bit about your disability?
My name is Michelle O'Shea from Golden in County Tipperary. I've 5 sisters and 3 brothers. I live in Golden with my mother. Well, the reason why I'm doing this talk is to make people more aware about access. I think a person with disability is forgotten about in society. We have a small group of people that helps us and who made me a stronger person. My disability is I have a mild form of cerebral palsy and my left side is affected more than my right. My left side is my weak side, and how they found out was when I was a child, I was very young, I wasn't sitting up properly like a normal baby. So my mother took me to the doctor and they took more tests, and that's how they found out. And my mother was brilliant to me because my father was in a wheelchair and I was in Kappa for 6 months and she went to see me every day. So I love my mother. She was very good to me.
And I think, Michelle, how has that affected your access and your inclusion? I think there's a lot of problems with social things and family occasions.
I think a person with disability is completely forgotten about in society. Like, I had a family occasion there recently. It was in a pub and I couldn't go because they had no accessible toilet. But the question I keep asking myself is, why can an able-bodied person go? I can't go. Why? Because they've no accessible toilet. So I'll tell you the truth now. If I went into the pub, and of course I'd love to go out like anybody else, like you or anybody else, but I haven't got the choice because I have the choice of sitting in the pub to wet my pants right or go home and go to the toilet because I've no accessible toilet. And the way people could include us is maybe the pubs or bars, if they got in a wheelchair accessible toilet, it might mean a lot to them, but it mean a lot to us. Well, I had a wedding there recently, a family wedding, and we rang before we went to the wedding to see was it wheelchair friendly, and they told us it was. But when we got there, the beds were too high, they had no monkey bars, no rails. I'd stay up all night and sit in my chair. I think it's an absolute disgrace. In this day and age, I don't think it's good enough. Another family occasion, we had a 21st and it was in a pub, and some of my brothers came home from England and everybody else got to go, but I'd stay at home. And I felt really left out and upset over it.
Something everybody's talking about at the minute is recycling their bottles.
Well, it's a new initiative that the government brought in it, but if you're a wheelchair user like me, it's too high, we can't reach up with the bottles or cans. And I'm not just here today speaking for myself. I know everybody have different abilities and different needs, but I'm here speaking for a person with disability that maybe is non-verbal. I'm here talking for the service users that can't speak up for themselves. I had to come here today to make this video about access. That'll tell you how bad access is. If access was, if we could only get from A to B in everyday life, which we can't, I wouldn't have to come here today and do this video on access. And it makes me angry. It makes me angry that people forget about, we're just forgotten about in society. We're forgotten about. Everybody say, oh yeah, you're great, come. So I can't drive. Like, and everybody here is able-bodied except me. He can all walk, but my day has to be planned. Like, there's no bus. I live in the countryside, so there's no bus passing my area, transport with a ramp in it. So what have I to do? Sit at home and look at the 4 walls. You're okay because you're able-bodied. If you decide you want to go to town today, you can, but I can't because I've no... like in Dublin, it's all about Dublin and the cities and Cork and Limerick, but people forget about the country areas too. Like, I live in the country. I love Tipperary. I'm proud of my county. But we need a bus with a ramp on it as well, the same as Dublin do, or Cork or Limerick.
What type of hazards do you encounter every day?
Cars on the footpath. There was cars on the footpath and there was no access through, then I'd have to go out on the road. And one day I was out in open employment and I was working and I was coming back up from work and I got all dog poo all over my hands and jumper, and I'd wait till that evening till I went home to hose down the wheelchair. Got dog poo all over my jumper and hands. I don't think that's good enough. And I don't think it's good enough that the cars block our way through the footpaths. And if the car is blocked, okay, they mightn't think, but that leads me and other wheelchair users to go out on the road because we have no way through.
Yeah, and the high pavements also can be a problem. What about shopping? How easy it is for you to go independently around the shop?
Well, the shops, they're very tight to get into, and some of the items on the shelves I can't reach up. So actually there's one particular shop, I won't even say where it is, but I can't even go into it. I have to stay outside and send somebody else in. I just want everybody to know how difficult it is for everybody with a disability to get around in everyday life from A to B. Because it is an uphill struggle, and I want everybody to know that.
And I think you have an incident too with a train where you were on the train and weren't able to get off.
Oh yeah, where I was coming back from a weekend away, and they were supposed to ring for the ramp, but they forgot to ring.
That's outrageous. It wasn't railway staff either that helped you off the train?
No, it was just two passengers. I gave them 20 euros each. It was just passengers, and I gave them 20 euros for a drink. And actually, I made into the hurling, but it was two Kilkenny supporters.
Maybe do you want to tell us a little bit about the hurling, because that's a big passion in your life?
I love the GA, and again, I'd like to thank the IWA for bringing me to the matches, because without them, I wouldn't be able to go. But sometimes the access can be very poor. Again, as I say, in some stands you're not fully covered, and that leads us to get wet. And some places where we park, it's not like I could have. Well, what about the person that's pushing me? They could have 15 minutes walk from where we park to get into where we're supposed to be.
Do you want to just very quickly to give a shout out to your sportsman cousin?
Oh yeah, Tyke Furlan. I just say thumbs up, Tyke from Wexford. Tyke, if you see this video, I'd just like to say hello to just hello from everyone in Golden. And Tyke, we're very proud of you, Tyke. And don't forget to give me the jersey the next time you're up.
I was wondering too, Michelle, to maybe talk a little bit about some of the things that you actually do, because you're talking about the people who've helped you with access and supported you, but you speak out for access in other places, don't you?
Yeah, Tip FM, Frank Corey's been very good to me. He's been very good and supportive of me. He always supports me. I often go on the radio talking about hurling and access, and I talk about people with disabilities as well. But the reason why I come here today is just to get people more aware, like how difficult a person with disabilities, their life is to get from A to B. Like nobody realises.
And that's because really you're an ideas person, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a creative thinker. I like people think a person with disability is not able to do much, but I like being able to plan things and being able to do things for myself and able to talk up. I'd like to encourage everyone. I'd like to tell everyone to have the courage to speak out. Never be afraid to speak your mind. Always speak out. Yeah, you might be a little bit nervous, but even if we improve access today by people seeing this video by even a little bit, that would mean a lot to me. So even if they improve their access by a little bit, then in a pub, as I already said, then I wouldn't have to sit there all night for 3 or 4 hours without going to the toilet. Even if they only get in a bar, then at least I'd be able to be included more. Because I think a person with disability, and we're not included enough. As I said already, we have a small circle of people that helps us, but outside of that, we're not really included. And hopefully when people see this video, it'll open up their eyes to access and realise how difficult it is for a person with disability to get around in everyday life. As I said, I'm not just including myself. I'm speaking up for people that are blind or maybe have a hearing difficulty, or people maybe that can't speak themselves. So I'm speaking for all them in Ireland today. So yeah, so that's all I have to say. And hopefully after, when people see these videos, I'll appeal to people to please help me, because at the end of the day, it's me you're helping and everybody else that has a disability. So I'd say to them, please help me.